Hello, everybody, and welcome. We've got a full house of cheering fans, including Earl B, the home team's biggest fan.
Earl B, he's our man. Earl B, the home team's biggest fan.
Great day, great game. Thanks to all you fans for coming out, especially Earl B. See you next game, everybody.
This is your sports TV station in Lorain, WLCS TV 20.
Coliseum at Elyria Catholic High School. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special sports presentation on WLCS TV 20. I'm Tim Elkhorn from WEOL Radio, along with my broadcast partner tonight, Milan Jordan, as we get set to bring you this non-conference boys high school basketball game featuring the Southview Saints and the Elyria Catholic Panthers. The Saints come over to Elyria Catholic with a record of 5-7 on the year, and Elyria Catholic having a very good season as Bob Walsh's team is 9-up and 2 down on the campaign. Milan Jordan, welcome, and I welcome you to WLCS TV 20. I've been doing some things for Joe Bach and Company for a while, but your first appearance on TV 20, and certainly an interesting matchup tonight here at the Coliseum as the Panthers play host to the Saints.
Absolutely. It's a great non-conference matchup here between the Lorain School and Elyria School with the host EC Panthers, and I think it's going to be a very athletic contest. Both teams are known to kind of run up and down the floor there, so I'm looking for an exciting ball game tonight.
Certainly two teams from very tough conferences. This is a non-conference game tonight, but Southview out of the Lake Erie League with the likes of Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights and Euclid and Elyria and Admiral King. And, of course, Elyria Catholic plays a pretty rugged schedule in their own right with Holy Name, Cleveland Central Catholic, Chanel, and so on in the North Coast League. So these two teams are battle-tested as they get ready for tonight's ball game.
Absolutely, and also being how it's kind of winding down towards a home stretch here in the regular season, getting ready for tournament time. I know Southview is a Division I team, EC is a Division III team, but still, anytime we play a non-league game against a team from a tough conference like the Lake Erie League or the North Coast League, it's going to help you out come tournament time.
Should be an interesting matchup. Hope you'll enjoy it right here on WLCS TV 20. Again, the Southview Saints have traveled to Elyria to take on the Panthers of Elyria Catholic. And we'll have the opening tip from the Coliseum here at EC following this timeout on WLCS TV 20.
Your one-stop place for something really special is Impressions, corner of Oberlin Avenue and Tower Boulevard. T-shirts and sweatshirts personally designed to your specific needs. Anything from bears, trains to zebras, and specially designed hats as well. And don't forget Impressions, your one-stop spot for school jackets. See Dave, the designer expert at Impressions, Oberlin Avenue at Tower Boulevard, right here in Lorain.
Tim Elkhorn, Milan Jordan back with you on the WEOL Colson and Colson cage matchup. The second of two basketball games tonight here on WEOL. We certainly hope you enjoyed the one earlier this evening as Keith Smart made his debut as the head coach of the Cavs as they battled the Orlando Magic. And now it's high school basketball, the Southview Saints and the Elyria Catholic Panthers. And tonight's high school basketball game and every WEOL Colson and Colson cage matchup this year can be heard online at LorainCounty.com sports. Hear them live or on demand. For all the action all season, join your neighbors and log on to LorainCounty.com. Starting lineups for the Southview Saints. They will start at guard Sean Nixon along with a 6-foot junior John Brown. Nixon, by the way, is a 5'9 senior. On the wing, Gabe Rios, a 6'2 junior, along with Mark Hall Miller. Mark Hall Miller, a 6-foot junior, and down in the block, 6'5 senior Leonard Smith. For the Elyria Catholic Panthers, they will start the two Belaskis, 5'11 junior Jake Belaski, averaging just under 15 points per ball game, along with Joe Belaski, a 5'10 sophomore at 6.5 points per contest. On the wing, Mike Clapham, a 6'2 junior, and those two big post players, Jason Smith, a 6'7 senior, along with 6'7 senior Josh Brenning. Jason Smith in the center circle against Leonard Smith of Southview. Ball tipped out of bounds. And the basketball belongs to the Elyria Catholic Panthers. Panthers venturing right to left on your radio dial. Joe Boloski bounces it into Mike Clapham, off on the right wing to Jake Boloski. Boloski underneath the hoop, scooped it up and dropped it in. Jake Boloski with the first 2 points of the ball game, and Southview will head to the other end. Through the center circle, Sean Nixon off on the left wing to Gabe Rios. Rios outside the three-point arc. Top of the circle to Marcall Miller. Back on the left wing to Rios. Drops it on the baseline to Leonard Smith. Comes around Jason Smith and scores. Nice strong move by Leonard Smith, and this game is tied at 2.
They're going to need a lot more from that from Leonard Smith tonight to match up with Elyria Catholic's height.
This game just underway. We're at the Coliseum at Elyria Catholic. Joe Boloski on the left wing to Clapham, throws it into Smith. Smith back to the basket. Out front to Jake Boloski, unloads a three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound Gabe Rios, and the Saints want to run. Rios into the forecourt on the left wing, down to the baseline, and his pass was knocked out of bounds. Basketball still belongs to Southview. Hey, Bob! Saints tonight in their traveling blue uniforms, white letters and numbers trimmed in red, and Elyria Catholic in their traditional home white uniforms, green letters and numbers with the black trim. In the left corner, Smith got the inbounds pass, threw up the jumper, no good. Offensive rebound, John Brown. Brown, run of the lane, ball knocked out of his hands, poked outside, fight for it. Out of there with it, Jake Boloski for Elyria Catholic. 2-2 ball game. Boloski into the forecourt, gives it to Joe Boloski, back up top to Jake, around on the right wing to Jason Smith. Smith in the right corner, run of the lane to Clapham. Clapham back in the corner to Smith. Smith comes to the right wing, puts the brakes on, drops it to Brenning, right back to Smith. Smith had the ball knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. Still belongs to EC. 6:37 to go, opening quarter. 2-2 ball game. EC and the Southview Saints. Our WEOL Colson and Colson cage matchup. Jake Boloski slaps the basketball into the corner to Brenning. Out front to Joe Boloski. Back in the left corner to Jake. His three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound tipped around. Out of there with it, John Brown for Southview. No look pass left side to Rios, and it was too strong as it glanced off his fingers out of bounds. Oh, that was a nice pass, though.
Yes, it was. Unfortunately, Southview couldn't take advantage of it.
And now the Saints are going to pressure the basketball. Inbounds to Joe Boloski. Quickly to Clapham. Clapham races up the right side into the right corner. Lob into Brenning, and Josh had it knocked out of his hands, out of bounds by John Brown.
Boy, Southview utilizing their quick hands right there. Their athleticism so far matching pretty well with Elyria Catholic.
Jake Boloski to inbound, right of his own basket. Lobs it out front to Smith. Jason with the foul line jumper, a beauty. Jason Smith with his first 2 points of the ball game. EC with a 4-2 lead. 6:05 to go, first quarter. Sean Nixon, left wing. Gabe Rios, his three. Right there. Gabe Rios drains the three-point bomb. That makes it 5-4 Southview. Quickly, EC into the other end. And Jake Boloski comes down right here in front of us and lost it off his leg, out of bounds.
If you leave Gabe Rios open, he's going to fire up that three, and he's going to sink it just about every time.
Sean Nixon into the forecourt, left side to Rios. Rios flips it up top to Marcall Miller. Miller to John Brown, run of the lane to Leonard Smith. Smith, right wing Nixon, thought about the three. Nixon holding the ball above his head, out front to Rios, comes left to the circle, the jumper, off the mark. Rebound, Jake Boloski for EC. Lifts it down the floor to Joe Boloski. Boloski left to the lane. Now on the baseline, double team, back out front to Jake. His three, partially blocked. Loose ball grabbed by Brenning. Brenning muscled it up, rolled off, no. Smith with the tip. Put it up and in. Jason Smith makes it a 6-5 EC lead at the other end. Three up and in by Gabe Rios from the right wing. Boy, end to end we go. 8-6, Southview now with a 2-point lead. Joe Boloski with the runner from the foul line, no good. Rebound, Jason Smith, up, in, and foul. Boy, Leonard Smith was tugging on Jason Smith's shoulder, and Smith was able to show some strength and get that ball on the rim and drop it in. Jason now with 6 first quarter points, looking for 7 at the free throw line. First foul of the ball game on Leonard Smith. John Brown will sit down for Southview. In the ball game now, Ryan Jackson, a 6'2 sophomore. Jason Smith at the free throw line, looking to complete the three-point play. Line left, Jason Smith, a good free throw shooter. Sights it, shoots it, got it. Jason Smith with 7. 9-8 EC back on top by 1. 4:55 to go first quarter. Like those basket mics, Milan? What do you think?
I like it. I like it. You hear some unique sounds of the game there.
Marcall Miller, top of the circle for Southview, off on the right wing to Ryan Jackson, gives it in the corner to Sean Nixon. Nixon comes around Jake Boloski underneath the hoop, flips it on the left wing to Miller. Miller had the ball knocked out of his hands, retrieved it in the corner out front to Nixon. His pass in the middle deflected by Brenning, and Big Josh tracks it down for EC. Lobs it up ahead to Boloski. Jake into the forecourt. Boloski left to the lane, tries to flip it in the lane to Smith. Ball deflected, out of there with it, Rios for Southview. Gabe quickly into the forecourt, unloads the jumper left wing. Nobody got fouled. Well, you can see that the Saints really want to push the basketball.
Absolutely, they definitely want to dictate the tempo of this ball game. And Elyria Catholic, they're doing a good job of keeping up with them.
Foul on Joe Boloski, his first at the free throw line. Gabe Rios will shoot 2. Again tonight, as we have done the past couple of games, there are microphones on the backboards. Glad to bring you sounds of the game. Rios hits the first. Gabe Rios with a 7-point first quarter. Ties the ball game at 9.
I say with those microphones, you could hear a little bit of the chatter going on at the free throw line there. Some guys talking smack. It's kind of fun.
Second one up and in for Gabe Rios. Rios now with 8 points in the ball game. Southview back on top, 10-9. Here comes the Elyria Catholic into the forecourt. Neil Fentner now in for the Panthers. Fentner had the ball knocked out of his hands, out of bounds out front by Marcall Miller. 4:09 to go first quarter. Elyria Catholic with the basketball, trailing by 1. Fentner over on the far side. Throws it into Clapham. Clapham had the ball knocked out of his hands. Rio saves it on the sideline. Nice play by Gabe. Gabe out front to Nixon. Nixon in the circle. Off on the right wing to Marcall Miller. Miller, run to the lane to Smith. Hooked it up. No. Rebound tipped around. Clapham has it for Elyria Catholic. Clapham gives it off to Jake Boloski. Back to Clapham. Clapham into the forecourt. Up ahead in the right corner to Jason Smith. Smith lobbing to Brenning. Run to the lane. Back to the basket. Gives it back to Smith. His jumper in the lane partially blocked. Loose ball grabbed by Leonard Smith. Quickly to Nixon. Whips it down the floor on the right wing to Jackson. Jackson out front to Rios. Rios comes around Clapham. The jumper from the circle. In and out. Rebound ricochets out front to Mike Clapham for EC. 3.5 minutes to go in the quarter. Panthers down by 1 with the basketball. Fentner right in front of the Southview bench. Dribbles to the three-point arc. Out front to Clapham. And Sean Nixon a little too aggressive with the foul for Southview.
So as Southview with those quick hands on defense, they're not giving Elyria Catholic an open shot at all. And it's helping them out, keeping in this ball game.
Here comes Brian Joyner in the game now for Southview. Leonard Smith will sit down. Joyner, a 6'1 junior, just under 4 points per ball game. Off the inbound, Fentner left of the circle. Gives it on the wing to Boloski. Jake will bring it all the way back out front. Boloski on the right wing. Gives it on the sideline to Clapham. Clapham whips it underneath to Boloski, who missed the layup. Rebound grab by Marcall Miller for Southview. Quickly up ahead to Nixon. Nixon on the right wing. Gives it back to Miller. Right of the lane to Joyner. Joyner against Brenning. Up, no. Rebound fought for. Grabbed in the lane by Jackson. Got fouled as he went up. Ryan Jackson will shoot 2.
That's what Southview needs to do. If they miss the first shot, have someone underneath the rebound and have a chance for those second chance, third chance shots.
Foul on EC on Jason Smith, the 6'7 senior, with his first. Milan, we're on television tonight. Joe Bach from WLCS TV 20 in the city of Lorain has tied into our audio. First free throw up and in for Ryan Jackson, his first point of the ball game. And for those of you who are listening tonight in Lorain, you can watch tonight's game between Southview and EC tomorrow and Friday at 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock. That's 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television. Second free throw, no good. Rebound grabbed by Elyria Catholic. So Southview's lead is 11-9. Panthers with the basketball, down by 2. In the right corner, Clapham. Clapham looking for Smith. Pass not there. Back out front to Boloski. Left wing to Fentner. Fentner gives it left of the lane to Clapham. His short jumper off the mark. Rebound grab by Southview's Marcall Miller. Gives it off to Gerald Jackson now in the game. Left of the lane, jumper put up and in by Ryan Jackson. So Gerald Jackson and Ryan are both in there, and Ryan cans the jumper to make it a 13-9 Southview lead. Jake Pulaski bounce into the forecourt to Clapham. Clapham double team, back out front. Rios with the steal for Southview, and then Pulaski knocked it out of his hands. Scramble at the half-court line. Ball comes free. Brenning has it for EC. Gives it off to Fentner. Fentner steps into the forecourt. Now whips it up ahead on the right side to Smith. Tries to fire it down low to Clapham. Ball hit the net. Clapham retrieves it. Cross-court right wing to Fentner. His shot blocked by Mark Miller. Great block by Mark Miller.
Absolutely. Southview with just a suffocating defense throughout the ball game.
Gabe Rios with the basketball for the Saints. They're up 13-9. Lob in the right corner, and he threw it right over the head of Mark Miller out of bounds. Another substitution for Southview. Here comes Vince Velasquez in the ball game, 5'10" junior. Sitting down, Gabe Rios. Rios has had a strong first quarter with 8 points.
He's been doing a lot of that was created by his work on the defensive end. Rios and Nixon with the quick hands on defense, starting up their offense.
Southview with pressure in the backcourt. Fentner double team. Bounces it to Jake Pulaski. Jake throws it up ahead to Jason Smith. Smith tries to throw it down floor. Ball deflected by Joyner. Out of there with it, Ryan Jackson. Jackson into the forecourt. Right wing to Joyner. Tries to bounce it down low. Pass kicked out of bounds by Neil Fentner. That'll get Sean Nixon back in the ball game for Southview. Mark Miller will sit down. 3 officials working tonight's ball game. Brian Lewis along with Craig Morrison and George Groh. On the inbounds pass, Gerald Jackson gives it in the corner to Vince Velasquez. Bounce down low to Joyner. Joyner with his back to the basket. Back on the wing to Velasquez. Up top to Nixon. Right wing to Gerald Jackson. Off on the left side to Velasquez. And Vince traveled with the basketball. That'll bring it to the other end with 1:05 to go here in the first quarter. And up from that Southview bench pops Leonard Smith, but he'll check in at the next break. Into the forecourt comes Jake Pulaski for EC. In the right corner to Zach Stevens, who's checked in. Stevens had his pass stolen away by Velasquez. So here comes Southview, leading by 4. Into the forecourt, Gerald Jackson flips it out front to Ryan Jackson. Off on the right wing to Nixon. Nixon out front to Gerald Jackson. Back on the right sideline to Nixon. Nixon outside to three-point arc. Steps inside, shoots, in and out. Rebound knocked out of bounds. Ball went off of Brian Joyner of Southview. .34 seconds to go in the quarter. And again, Southview will apply that pressure, Milan. We talked about the advantage they have in team quickness tonight. They've tried to utilize it here in the first period.
Absolutely. They've just been playing great defense against Elyria Catholic. And I tell you what, EC has not taken one open shot tonight. They've always had a guy on them. Every pass, every shot.
Little too aggressive on the defensive pressure right there as Vince Velasquez picks up the foul. He hacks Zach Stevens on the arm.
But you know, if you're head coach Brian Curry, you got to like the aggressive defense, the aggressive fouls right there.
Smith got free down low. Nice beat from Brenning, and Jason Smith pops it in. Jason Smith with a 9-point first quarter, 13-11. Panthers back to within 2, 10 seconds to go in the period. Southview will play for the final shot. Nixon at the base of the center circle. Off on the right wing to Velasquez. His 3 off the mark. Rebound Brenning. Hands it off to Fentner, and that ends the first quarter. 8 minutes are in the book here at the Coliseum at Elyria Catholic. A good one is cooking. Southview leading the Panthers 13-11. We're back after this on the WEOL. Colson and Colson, cage matchup.
Since 1921, your hometown financial professionals at First Federal Savings of Lorain have dedicated themselves to meeting the financial needs of their customers and surrounding communities. They offer a wide variety of financial investments as well as home mortgages to meet your every need. Loans on boats, cars, mobile homes, and other worthwhile purchases are also available. Whatever your financial need, First Federal Savings of Lorain is ready to help. 7 convenient locations to serve you in Lorain, Huron, Sandusky, Port Clinton, and now at 36690 Detroit Road in Avon. First Federal Savings of Lorain is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured.
We start the second quarter, Southview with the basketball, leading 13-11. Tim Elkhorn along with Milan Jordan. Glad you could join us on the WEOL Colson and Colson cage matchup. Saints again left to right on your radio dial here in the first half of play. Leonard Smith pops it down low to an open Nixon, a little reverse layup over Belaski, and Sean drops it in the hoop. Sean Nixon with his first 2 points of the ball game, 15-11, and now Nixon with a steal in the backcourt, put the shot up, no good. Rebound went out of bounds off Jake Belaski of EC. Again, that quickness of Southview wreaking havoc at the other end.
Absolutely, and they're doing a nice job of substituting in there. You see at some points of the ball game, Rios taking a couple minutes of breather, same with Nixon, bringing in the Jacksons, Velasquez.
Out front, Sean Nixon with the basketball. Bounce on the right sideline to Marcall Miller. Whips it in between the circles to Gabe Rios, who's checked in. Right wing to Ryan Jackson. Out front, Leonard Smith. His jumper right there. Boy, the big fella drains the 19-footer. Leonard Smith with 4. 17-11, Southview with their biggest advantage. Left wing for EC, Jason Smith. Out front to Jake Belaski. Belaski matched up against Sean Nixon. In between the circles to Fentner. Fentner against Marcall Miller. Fentner down the right side to Jason Smith. Smith in the corner. Smith holds up, flips it right of the lane to Brenning. Brenning against Leonard Smith. Brenning comes around Smith. The jumper from the foul line off the back of the rim. Rebound Leonard Smith. Flips it to Marcall Miller. Miller quickly into the forecourt on the right wing. Miller out front to Rios. Left side to Nixon. Nixon at the three-point arc. Backs up. Gives it in the corner to Jackson. Left of the lane to Smith. Fakes left. Turns right. Hooked it up and in. Leonard Smith with 6. Timeout Panthers. They're down 8. 19-11. Southview with an 8-point lead. 6:30 to go first half on the WEOL. Colson and Colson cage matchup. Bob Walsh takes his first time out for Elyria Catholic. They're down 8. And as Joe Belaski comes up the right side off the timeout, we'll get a foul on Southview. 6:23 to go first half. And the foul on the Saints called on Marcall Miller. That's his first. Jake Belaski, long pass, left of the lane to Mike Clapham. Clapham will bring it back out front. Right wing to Jake. His 3 right there. Jake Belaski with 5. That makes it a 19-14 ball game. Quickly at the other end. Leonard Smith with a hoop for Southview, and Clapham breaks free and goes to the other end and lays one up and in for the Panthers. He had 6 points in about 6 seconds.
That's one way to break the Southview press.
21-16. Southview with the basketball and a 5-point lead. Sean Nixon in between the circles. EC has now switched to a zone. Miller left wing to Rios, top of the circle to Nixon. Gives it on the baseline to Miller. Miller the short jumper, blocked by Brenning. Brenning gives it off to Joe Belaski, and Joe will push the ball into the forecourt. Belaski left corner to Jason Smith. Smith lob into Brenning. Brenning in the lane, turns, shoots, in and out. Rebound grab. Marcall Miller for Southview. Off to Nixon. Nixon quickly into the forecourt, and he threw it over the head of Gabe Rios on the baseline, out of bounds.
Mentioned Elyria Catholic, a center plays zone defense with Leonard Smith, big Leonard Smith taking the 10, 15-foot jumpers. They got to play that zone to keep him underneath, to keep him contained.
5:19 to go. First half of play. 21-16. Saints by 5. Elyria Catholic looking to extend their 4-game winning streak. Panthers are playing some pretty good basketball. Belaski into the forecourt. Joe double teamed and will get a reach-in foul. And Brian Corey does not like that call. Brian Corey's dad, George Corey, stopped by to say hello before the ball game, along with former Lorain Mayor Joe Kazura and Roger Wilhelm, Matt Wilhelm's dad. So there was a trio. Brenning right of the circle, the jumper no good. Rebound ricochets off to Jason Smith. Smith left of the lane and will get a reach-in foul. So the foul starting to pile up now for the Saints. And Brian Corey not happy, I don't think, with any of them.
Yeah, but one good thing for the Saints, though, they have 16 fouls. They're by 6 different players, so none of the Saints are in foul trouble right now.
Jake Belaski will inbound for Elyria Catholic. Bounce in the left corner to Jason Smith. Out front to Clapham. Clapham in the left corner to Belaski. Back out front to Clapham. Mike will shoot a three. Around the rim and out. Rebound Brenning, though. Ball knocked out of his hands. Scramble right in front of the St. bench. Saved in bounds by Rios, but he saved it to Clapham. Down the floor to Belaski. Jake on the right wing to Joe. Joe Belaski at the three-point arc. In between the circles to Jake. Lob at the foul line to Jason Smith. Smith holding the ball above his head. Left wing Joe. His three. Got it. Joe Belaski with his first 3 points of the ball game. It's 21-19. The Panthers are back to within 2. They trailed by as many as 7. Left of the lane. The runner up, no good by John Brown. Here comes EC with the basketball and a chance to tie or take the lead.
Panthers on an 8-2 run right now.
Left side of the forecourt, Joe Belaski. Bounce left of the lane to Brenning. Backs in. Back on the left side to Joe. Out front to Jake. Right wing Clapham. Throws it into Brenning. Brenning backs in. Muscled it up. Off. No. Brenning got it back. Put it off the glass. No. Smith with the tip. No. Fight for the rebound. And John Brown takes it away from Jason Smith. And we'll get a reach-in foul on Elyria Catholic. Boy, you heard some grunting and groaning and struggling underneath that hoop. They were battling for that board.
Absolutely, both big men would not be denied that ball.
The foul on Elyria Catholic called on Jason Smith. That's his second. Boy, great job by our engineer on site, Kevin Mayer, handling those backboard microphones. He had that one potted up pretty high to catch that noise. Sean Nixon into the forecourt for Southview. Lob in the left corner to Marcall Miller. Miller double teamed. Miller tries to dribble through it, lost the basketball, scramble, and a jump ball called. Possession arrow belongs to Elyria Catholic. We mentioned that Roger Wilhelm, Matt Wilhelm's dad, dropping by to say hello before the ball game. Of course, this Saturday, Matt Wilhelm at Liberty Ford Lincoln Mercury in Vermillion from 11 until 2. I'll be there live on the scene for WEOL. Jason Smith left of the lane. The runner up no good. Marcall Miller grabs the rebound for Southview, and he got fouled. And the foul will be whistled on Joe Belaski for EC. For Joe, that's his second. Boy, how about the positive PR that Matt Wilhelm has brought to Northeast Ohio, Elyria Catholic High School. My goodness. 21-19, Saints with a 2-point lead. And the basketball. Baseline left, Miller cut off on the baseline, and he lost the ball off his leg out of bounds. Turnover gives it back to EC.
Well, after a rapidly played first quarter, we've seen a lot of stoppage of play here in the second quarter between fouls and turnovers.
Steal on the inbound. Miller put it up, no, got it back, missed it again. Rebound grabbed by Clapham for EC. Panthers got away with one right there. Into the forecourt. Clapham, right of the lane, puts the brakes on, gives it on the baseline to Stevens, and he then bounced it by Smith, but it's retrieved by Fentner. Out front to Belaski, 17-footer off the mark. Fight for the rebound in the lane, Stevens. Right side Clapham, out front Belaski. And not sure what we've got on the call. Brian Lewis halted play, and I'm not sure why.
I don't think the players know why either.
3:15 to go in the first half, and Brian Lewis, for reasons that I don't know, just stopped play. Inbounds pass goes to Clapham, off on the right side to Fentner, gives it in the corner to Jason Smith. Smith against Leonard Smith. Jason with the jumper, in and out. Rebound fought for, and we'll get an over-the-back foul on EC. And then if that's on Jason Smith, that would be his third. Well, they'll call it on Clapham, I believe.
They
called it on Fentner.
No, scoreboard showing Clapham.
Yeah, but I heard the PA man say Fentner, so I'm not sure which one it is. 2:55 to go in the first half. Left sideline, Marcall Miller for Southview. His pass in the middle deflected, and on the end line, Neil Fentner couldn't quite save it in for EC. That'll get Gerald Jackson back in the ball game for Southview. Sitting down, Marcall Miller. Well, we've been stuck on 21-19 for a while now. Southview with that 2-point lead. And now we'll get a timeout by the Saints. 2:49 to go first half. Southview up by a bucket. We're back after this on the WEOL Colson and Colson Cage matchup.
In days gone by, a visit to the dentist was almost always synonymous with pain. Today, there's usually very little discomfort during a dental visit. Dentists are trained and experienced in preventing pain and anxiety, and modern pharmacology offers a host of anesthetics to reduce or eliminate discomfort. For instance, if you need a filling added or replaced, your oral tissues can be swabbed to numb them before a local anesthetic is injected. To reduce any residual anxiety, the dentist may recommend a relaxant such as nitrous oxide. And if you're undergoing a more involved treatment, your dentist may suggest a more powerful anesthetic. If you experience any discomfort after treatment, you can opt for over-the-counter pain relievers such as aspirin, ibuprofen, or acetaminophen. Remember, intense dental discomfort is largely a thing of the past. For the ADA Dental Minute, I'm Dr. Maria Lopez Howell.
Corey takes his first timeout, but right off the timeout, Gerald Jackson rifles it by Sean Nixon on the sideline, out of bounds. Turnover gives it back to Elyria Catholic.
That's the Saints' 6th turnover here in the second quarter. They've only scored 6 points.
Coming up at the half, we'll have the Nationwide Insurance Halftime Show, brought to you by your Lorain County Nationwide Insurance agents. Panthers down 2 with the basketball. Into the forecourt, Jake Pulaski out near the half-court line to Neil Fentner. Fentner comes around Gabe Rios and then lost the ball off his leg out of bounds. Ball goes back to Southview, and that brings a shrug from Bob Walsh. Bob hasn't been too animated on that Panther bench tonight, though. We haven't gotten to crunch time yet.
Yeah, that's right. It's still early.
In between the circles, Gerald Jackson off on the left side to Gabe Rios. Rios gives it in the corner to Ryan Jackson. Off on the right side, ball deflected out of bounds as Sean Nixon had the pass intended for him.
Seeing EC playing a little bit better defense here in the second quarter on those cross-court passes. They're tipping them or even them stealing.
Rios out front, gives it in the corner to Ryan Jackson. Ryan Jackson double team, throws it out front to Gerald Jackson. Back to Rios. Then Rios threw it right to Clapham for EC. And here come the Panthers. Clapham in the right corner to Belaski. Jake on the left-hand dribble. Cross-court pass, left side Clapham. His jumper off the back of the rim. Rebound Sean Nixon for Southview. Nixon launches it up ahead to Rios. Left wing is 3. A beauty! Gabe Rios, his third 3 of the ball game. He's got 11. And it's a 24-21 St. Lee.
Then you leave Rios open on that three-point line. He's going to sink it.
24-19, excuse me. In the left corner, Clapham. Out front to Belaski. Belaski barking out the offense, gives it in the corner to Clapham. Clapham out front to Fentner. Neil Fentner changing hands on the dribble. In the left corner to Jake. His 3, a beauty. Jake Belaski with 8 as he answers the 3 ball with one of his own, 24-22. Rios in the right corner traveled with the basketball as he tried to come around Josh Brenning. So the teams trade 3s, and the Panthers are back to within 2, 24-22, 1:05 to go here in the first half. Fentner weaving through traffic into the forecourt, puts the brakes on, out front to Belaski. Oh my, Brian Corey incensed on the St. bench. Jason Smith, baseline left, gives it to Fentner. Fentner matched up against Sean Nixon. Fentner in between the circles. Nixon reached in, tried to steal it. Jump ball called. Possession arrow to the Southview Saints. And up from that EC bench will pop Joe Belaski. Hey, don't forget, tomorrow night right here on WEOL, we've got a girls Colson and Colson cage matchup. The Elyria High Lady Pioneers at Westlake to take on the Lady Demons. 7:05 with the State Farm Insurance pregame show. Should be a good girls game. Leonard Smith left to the lane, the short jumper right there. Leonard Smith in double figures with 10. And the St. lead is 4 at 26-22. Into the forecourt, Joe Belaski comes around a Brenning pick, now tries to bounce it back to Josh. Ball knocked out of bounds.
Well, we mentioned earlier that Bob Walsh hasn't been animated yet, but Brian Curry definitely has. He already has his tie undone and barking at the officials a couple of times already.
Belaski on the inbound, top of the circle to Jason Smith. Out front to Joe Belaski. Belaski to the circle. Joe with the jumper, short. Rebound grabbed by Leonard Smith for Southview. Looks down floor. No pass there, gives it to Rios. He rifles it up ahead to Ryan Jackson. Back to Rios. Rios now backs up with the basketball. 5 seconds left in the half. Rios, a long three. He rattled it in at the buzzer. Oh, my. Gabe Rios from downtown Elyria hits the three at the buzzer. Rios with a 14-point first half. And the Saints go to the locker room up 7, 29-22. What a shot by Gabe Rios as he rainbowed it up there.
Boy, he just looks so calm in his final few seconds. And just calmly sinks the three.
That one should have been worth 4.5. 29-22, the Saints by 7.
There's this guy, always in my face, shouting at me, just pushes me, but I love him. He's my coach. My coach.
Be a coach. Be a fan. Special Olympics.
There's this guy.
Ryan Corey takes his first timeout, but right off the timeout, Gerald Jackson rifles it by Sean Nixon on the sideline out of bounds. Turnover gives it back to Elyria Catholic.
That's the Saints' 6th turnover here in the second quarter. They've only scored 6 points.
Coming up at the half, we'll have the Nationwide Insurance Halftime Show, brought to you by your Lorain County Nationwide Insurance agents. Panthers down 2 with the basketball. Into the forecourt, Jake Pulaski out near the half-court line to Neil Fentner. Fentner comes around Gabe Rios and then lost the ball off his leg out of bounds. Ball goes back to Southview, and that brings a shrug from Bob Walsh. Bob hasn't been too animated on that Panther bench tonight, though. We haven't gotten to crunch time yet.
Yeah, that's right. It's still early.
In between the circles, Gerald Jackson off on the left side to Gabe Rios. Rios gives it in the corner to Ryan Jackson. Off on the right side, ball deflected out of bounds as Sean Nixon had the pass intended for him.
Seen EC playing a little bit better defense here in the second quarter on those cross-court passes. They're tipping them or even stealing.
Rios out front, gives it in the corner to Ryan Jackson. Ryan Jackson double team, throws it out front to Gerald Jackson. Back to Rios. Then Rios threw it right to Clapham for EC. And here come the Panthers. Clapham in the right corner to Pulaski. Jake on the left-hand dribble. Cross-court pass, left side Clapham. His jumper off the back of the rim. Rebound Sean Nixon for Southview. Nixon launches it up ahead to Rios. Left wing is three. A beauty! Gabe Rios, his third three of the ball game. He's got 11. And it's a 24-21 St. Lee.
Then you leave Rios open on that three-point line. He's going to sink it.
A 24-19, excuse me. In the left corner, Clapham. Out front to Pulaski. Pulaski barking out the offense, gives it in the corner to Clapham. Clapham out front to Fentner. Neil Fentner changing hands on the dribble. In the left corner to Jake. His three, a beauty. Jake Pulaski with 8 as he answers the three ball with one of his own, 24-22. Rios in the right corner traveled with the basketball as he tried to come around Josh Brenning. So the teams trade threes, and the Panthers are back to within 2, 24-22, 1:05 to go here in the first half. Fentner weaving through traffic into the forecourt, puts the brakes on, out front to Pulaski. Oh my, Brian Corey incensed on the St. bench. Jason Smith, baseline left. Gives it to Fentner. Fentner matched up against Sean Nixon. Fentner in between the circles. Nixon reached in, tried to steal it. Jump ball called. Possession arrow to the Southview Saints. And up from that EC bench will pop Joe Pulaski. Hey, don't forget, tomorrow night right here on WEOL, we've got a girls Colson and Colson cage matchup. The Elyria High Lady Pioneers at Westlake to take on the Lady Demons. 7:05 with the State Farm Insurance pregame show. Should be a good girls game. Leonard Smith left in the lane, the short jumper right there. Leonard Smith in double figures with 10. And the St. lead is 4 at 26-22. Into the forecourt, Joe Pulaski comes around a Brenning pick, now tries to bounce it back to Josh. Ball knocked out of bounds.
We mentioned earlier that Bob Walsh hasn't been animated yet, but Brian Curry definitely has. He already has his tie undone and barking at the officials a couple of times already.
Belaski on the inbound, top of the circle to Jason Smith. Out front to Joe Belaski. Belaski to the circle. Joe with the jumper, short. Rebound grabbed by Leonard Smith for Southview. Looks down floor. No pass there, gives it to Rios. He rifles it up ahead to Ryan Jackson. Back to Rios. Rios now backs up with the basketball. 5 seconds left in the half. Rios, a long three. He rattled it in at the buzzer. Oh my! Gabe Rios from downtown Elyria hits the three at the buzzer. Rios with a 14-point first half. And the Saints go to the locker room up 7, 29-22. What a shot by Gabe Rios as he rainbowed it up there.
Boy, he just looks so calm in his final few seconds. And just calmly sinks the three.
That one should have been worth 4.5. 29-22, the Saints by 7.
There's this guy, always in my face, shouting at me. Just pushes me. But I love him. He's my coach. My coach.
Be a coach. Be a fan. Special Olympics.
There's this guy.
35-31. Panthers are within 4. 5 minutes to go. Left of the lane. Rios traveled with the basketball. Gabe was trying to weave his way through traffic. That brought big Albert Stacy off that Southview bench. He didn't like that call. Albert, of course, the varsity assistant to Brian Corey. Belaski in the backcourt for EC. Bounce up ahead to Clapham. Clapham on the right sideline, right in front of the Panther bench. Clapham flips it out front to Jake Belaski. Jake back on the right sideline to Clapham. Run of the lane, Jason Smith backs in. Hooked it up, no good. Rebound grab for Southview by Ryan Jackson. Gives it off to Gerald Jackson. Up ahead on the right wing. Pass stolen away by Belaski for EC. Jake into the forecourt. Ball knocked out of his hands out of bounds, and it went off Jake's foot.
So at EC on the defensive end are doing a nice job of keying up on Rios and also Leonard Smith, but that's leaving some shots open for Sean Nixon. But now EC, they have a little bit of a soft pressure defense right now. Seems to rattle the Saints a bit.
Saints with the basketball, leading by 4. John Brown, run of the lane, shot blocked by Brenning, but the loose ball scooped up by Smith, who dropped it in. 37-31, Panthers push it to the other end. Left of the lane, Clapham, bank shot good. Mike Clapham with 5. 37-33, here comes Southview to the other end. Left of the lane, Jackson put it up, rolled it around the rim and in. Ryan Jackson put the brakes on left of the lane and then got the shot to fall.
The second and third quarter, Tim, Southview 12 of 13 from the field.
Clapham in the lane, put the shot up, partially blocked. Out of there with it, Leonard Smith. Smith to Rios, drops it behind him to Gerald Jackson. Jackson through the center circle into the forecourt, down the lane, ball poked free. Brenning has it, quickly up ahead to Clapham. Clapham ahead of the pack, drives, shot blocked by Rios, scooped up by Belaski, no good. Rebound grab by the Saints. Rios down the floor to Smith, spins away from Belaski and put it in. Smith with 14. What a block by Gabe Rios at the other end.
Rios is doing it all tonight, Tim.
41-33. A great block. Jake Belaski weaving into the forecourt. Off on the left sideline to Mike Clapham. Clapham on the left wing. Bounce out front to Jake Belaski. Pushes it right side to Joe. Joe right in front of Bob Walsh. Lob into Brenning. Back to the basket. Hooked it up off the glass and kissed it in. Josh Brenning with his first 2 points of the ball game. 41-35. 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Leonard Smith left the lane. Shot blocked out of bounds by Jason Smith. Wholesale substitutions for Southview. Marcall Miller, Brian Joyner, Vince Velasquez in. For Elyria Catholic, Zach Stevens checks in for Josh Brenning. 2:54 to go, third quarter. Boy, it has been end-to-end this period. 41-35, Saints by 6. Left corner, Ryan Jackson for 3, and he hit it. Well, that was Gerald, excuse me. Gerald Jackson buries to 3, making it 44-35 at the other end. Zach Stevens, run of the lane, the jumper, no good. Stevens got it back, pushed it up, nobody got fouled. And that brings a derisive cheer from the Panther faithful right behind the EC bench. 2:40 to go, third quarter. That's the first team foul. Or excuse me. I think they want to know who that foul is on, as
I think they're calling it on John Brown.
Yep. John Brown with his third. And at the free throw line, Zach Stevens, 6'1" junior. Shooting 2. First one no good. Zach Stevens, a 64% free throw shooter. At green 32, trimmed in black on the back of his home white uniform. Second toss up and in. Zach with his first point of the ball game, 44-36. 2:38 to go here in the third. Vince Velasquez into the forecourt, and he's trapped just inside the timeline and takes a timeout. We will as well. 2:32 to go, third quarter. 44-36. The Saints by 8 on the WEOL Colson and Colson cage matchup.
Since 1921, your hometown financial professionals at First Federal Savings of Lorain have dedicated themselves to meeting the financial needs of their customers and surrounding communities. They offer a wide variety of financial investments as well as home mortgages to meet your every need. Loans on boats, cars, mobile homes, and other worthwhile purchases are also available. Whatever your financial need, First Federal Savings of Lorain is ready to help. 7 convenient locations to serve you in Lorain, Huron, Sandusky, Port Clinton, and now at 36690 Detroit Road in Avon. First Federal Savings of Lorain is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured.
Southview takes their second timeout. Brian Corey has 3 remaining. Saints are up 8, 44-36, 2.5 minutes to go, third quarter. And don't forget, after the ball game, we'll have the McDonald's post-game show. Several awards to hand out. Up top, Gerald Jackson for Southview. On the right-hand dribble, steps into the circle, puts the brakes on, gives it back to Vince Velasquez, right back to Gerald Jackson. Jackson on the right wing to Velasquez. Velasquez, top side to Gerald Jackson. Jackson bounce in the corner to John Brown, left of the lane to Joyner. Right of the lane to Velasquez, underneath, shot put up by Miller, no good. Fight for the rebound, Miller got it back. Up and into the foul! Well, Marcall Miller with his first 2 points of the ball game and a chance for a 3-point play. And Southview with their biggest lead of the night, it's 46-36. And the foul on Jason Smith, his third.
Nice job by Marquall Miller to stay open down underneath.
And he drains the free throw. First 3 points for Marquall Miller, 47-36. Saints by 11. Jason Smith on the left sideline, out front to Clapham. Gives it to Neil Fentner at the half-court line to Boloski, down the right wing to Stevens. Stevens, baseline right, double team, lost the ball, got it back, flips it in the left corner to Boloski. Rainbows a 3 and drains it. Jake with 17. 47-39. That 3 by Jake gets EC back to within 8, and now Boloski with a steal. Tries to go behind his back at the half-court line, lost the dribble, scooped up by Jason Smith. Timeout, Panthers. They're down 8, 1:25 to go in the third on the WEOL. Colson and Colson, cage matchup. 1:25 to go, third quarter. Tim Elkhorn, Milan Jordan back with you at the Coliseum at Elyria Catholic. Stevens, right of the lane, down the lane, in the lane. Shot blocked out of bounds, and it deflected off Zach Stevens. Southview will get it back. Tell you what, the interior of the Saint defense has been very strong tonight.
Absolutely, led by big Leonard Smith, a 6'5" senior.
1:17 to go in the quarter. Gabe Rios in the backcourt being chased by Clapham. Whips it cross court to John Brown. Brown gives it in the corner to Miller. His jumper around the rim and out. Jason Smith grabs the rebound for Elyria Catholic. Gives it off to Neil Fentner. Fentner comes up the left side. Fentner changing hands on the dribble. Neil comes down to the baseline. Underneath the hoop. Bounce in the lane to Stevens. Put it up. Shot blocked. Marcall Miller. Marcall then fell down holding his right ankle. He's hurt. Into the forecourt. Sean Nixon. Nixon races it down the floor to Joyner, who laid it up and in. And now we'll get the timeout as Marcall Miller is really writhing in pain at the other end of the floor. Brian Joyner with his first 2 points of the ball game makes it 49-39. And with 43 ticks on the clock, they'll tend to Marcall Miller at the other end. So we'll take a timeout. Saints are up 10 on the WEOL Colson and Colson Cage matchup. Welcome back to the Coliseum. Marcall Miller heads to the Southview bench. Appears to be all right. Elyria Catholic with the basketball. They're down 10. 36 seconds to go, third quarter. Joe Belaski bouncing the right corner to Zach Stevens. Stevens double teamed at the three-point arc, steps through it, lost the ball. Sean Nixon down on his knee, grabs it, and he gets a timeout. 24 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Brian Corey takes a timeout. We'll keep it right here with Southview leading by 10, 49-39. Again, a reminder that after the ball game, we'll have our McDonald's post-game show and plenty of awards to hand out, including the McDonald's Extra Value Award. We'll also have our Northern Star Award, the brightest star on the floor tonight, the Northern Star, and of course, Liberty Auto Group Student Athlete Awards for each ball club. So a lot to come during the McDonald's post-game show. This will be an interesting final 8 minutes, I'll tell you that.
Oh, it's been a fantastic first three quarters. Southview, in the first half, it was all Gabe Rios and Leonard Smith. In the third quarter, you kind of seen a little bit of balance there, especially in a defensive end. You were saying, talking about the interior defense. A lot of their smaller guys are making the block shots there on EC.
Well, let's see what Southview elects to do here. Leading by 10, 24 seconds to go, third quarter. Inbounds pass, rifled by Sean Nixon. He tracks it down in the backcourt. Throws it to Gabe Rios. Rios up ahead on the left wing to Ryan Jackson. Jackson in between the circles to Nixon. 13 on the clock. Sean Nixon just holding the basketball on his right hip. Clock at 9. Out front to Gabe Rios. Rios matched up against Joe Belaski. Rios with 5 in the corner to Ryan Jackson. His 3 off the rim, no good. Rebound Clapham, and that will end the third quarter of play. Can the Saints hang on to their double-digit lead? 49-39 Southview. The final 8 minutes come your way after this on the WEOL Colson and Colson Cage matchup.
Hello, I'm Chief Sal Rivera.
And I'm Officer Michael Failing.
This year, the Lorain Police Department, in partnership with the Lorain City Schools and the Morning Journal, is introducing an exciting new program called Do the Right Thing. The purpose of the program is to publicly honor and recognize kids who display proper behavior and proper attitudes.
You can pick up a nomination form in your local city school or in the Lorain Morning Journal. Let's fill out those nomination forms so we can honor the kids who do the right thing in the city of Lorain.
Welcome back to Elyria Catholic. We start the fourth quarter. Saints up 10, 49-39, and Southview with the basketball. Although not for long, as it's knocked out of the hands of Leonard Smith, left of the lane. Out of there with it, Jake Belaski for EC. Belaski out front to Joe Belaski. His 3, around the rim and out. Rebound grabbed by Sean Nixon, and the Saints want to run. Nixon down the floor to Rios. Rios underneath the hoop, got fouled by Joe Belaski. And Gabe Rios will shoot 2. 7:33 to go in the ball game. That foul on Joe Belaski is his 3rd. Gabe Rios has had a ball game tonight. 16 points. Line left. Rios 2 of 2 from the line tonight. First one up, no good. So it went in and out on him.
Southview just doing a great job shooting from the field. 65% through 3 quarters, 20 of 31.
Rios tied with Jake Belaski for game-high scoring honors. Jake has 16 to lead EC, although Rios now breaks the tie as he hits the second. So Gabe was 17, and it's 50-39. Saints by 11. In the forecourt, Elyria Catholic with the basketball, and Jake Belaski left of the lane, got held by Sean Nixon. They'll call the foul on Sean. For Sean Nixon, that will be his third personal foul. For Southview, fifth team foul. Panthers down 11. And they need to make a move here. Boloski in the right corner. Jake for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound put back up, no good. Rebound fought for, and they may get Jason Smith for being on the back right here. Or they go to the other end. Ooh, they called it on Southview. And another sarcastic cheer from the Panther faithful. You know, those team fouls are 6-2. I'm not sure what the Panther fans are really griping about. They called that one on Leonard Smith. Smith with his second. And on the inbounds, we get another whistle and a foul. And they call that one on the Saints. And Nixon has just picked up his fourth foul. So I'm sure he will sit for a while on that Saint bench. In the meantime, Southview over the limit. Gerald Jackson in for Southview. Nixon down. Marcall Miller in. That's a good sign as he was shaken up earlier. John Brown will take a seat. Jake Boloski shooting 1-1.
Well, the official with a quick whistle on that one.
Jake hit the first. Jake Boloski now with 17 points in the ball game. Ties Gabe Rios for game-high honors. Also pulls EC to within 10. Second toss on the way, right there. And Jake with 18, and that makes it 50-41. Southview's lead down to 9. Into the forecourt come the Saints. Miller bounce on a left wing. Rios reverse layup, dropped it in. Gabe with a pretty shot. He's got 19. 52-41. And what, Gabe Rios is an impressive basketball player. In the backcourt, though, Marcall Miller will be whistled for the foul, being aggressive against Joe Boloski. So Joe Boloski will march to the other end and shoot 1-1. For Marcall Miller, that's his second personal foul. 6:52 to go, fourth quarter. Panthers down 11. And Joe Boloski at the free throw line. Joe 1 of 2 from the line tonight. Missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Offensive rebound. Brenning muscled it up and in. Josh Brenning with 4 points in the ball game. Makes it a 52-43 contest. And now the Panthers are going to apply some pressure, but Southview is able to break it. Baseline left, Marcall Miller. Out front to Gerald Jackson. Bounce in between the circles to Gabe Rios. Rios off on the right side to Ryan Jackson. Back to Rios. His three around the rim and out. Rebound Jason Smith for EC. Here come the Panthers with a chance to cut it even closer. They're down 9. Jake Boloski into the forecourt on the right wing. Lob right of the lane to Brenning. Powers it up. No, but he got fouled. See who they call that one on. The foul is on Ryan Jackson. For Ryan Jackson, that's his second. And big Josh Brenning will head to the free throw line for Elyria Catholic. 6'7" senior. 4 points tonight, all from the field. 55% free throw shooter. He'll shoot 2. Hits the first. Josh Brenning now with 5. Up next for the Panthers, Friday night right here at the Coliseum. They'll be hosting Chanel. Southview on Friday night. Back on their home floor, they'll be taking on Euclid. Brenning off on the second. Rebound grab by Marcall Miller. 52-44, and as Miller comes into the forecourt, we'll get a foul on Elyria Catholic. So perhaps the foul starting to even themselves out somewhat. For EC, that personal on Mike Clapham, and that's his second. On the inbounds, in the backcourt, between his legs on the dribble, Gerald Jackson. 52-44. Southview's lead is 8. Down low, nice pass into Marcall Miller, who dropped it up and in. Miller with 5. 54-44 against Southview with a double-digit lead. 5:50 to go. Joe Boloski, right wing Clapham, the jumper off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound comes back to Clapham, out front to Jake Boloski. Lob left of the lane to Smith. Leonard Smith reached in, poked it away. Jason got it back, hooked it up, no good. Rebound Marcall Miller for Southview. His pass stolen by Joe Boloski. Gives it to Brenning, out front to Clapham, right wing to Joe Boloski. His 3 off the mark. Rebound fought for, ripped out of the hands of Jake Boloski, and then Rios at the half-court line couldn't save it in bounds. A great hustle by Gabe Rios. Couldn't quite save it, though. 5:27 to go. EC gets it back. Still trailing by 10. Jake Belaski, far sideline, tries to lob it underneath the Clapham. Ball knocked out of bounds, and it went off Mike Clapham. So the Saints will now inbound against pressure. Ryan Jackson bounces it into Gerald Jackson. Jackson lost the dribble. Jake Belaski down on his pants, tried to fire a pass, didn't get it there. Out of there with it comes Southview. Leonard Smith bounced right of the lane to Gerald Jackson. And Gerald Jackson got bumped and fouled by Joe Belaski. For Joe Belaski, that's his 4th foul. For EC, their 4th team foul.
I like what EC is doing on defense, though. They're applying the pressure, much like Southview was for the first 3 quarters.
And they get a steal right there. Jake Belaski, left wing for the Panthers, out front to younger brother Joe. Joe comes right to the lane, puts the brakes on, flips it back out front to Jake. Jake outside the 3-point arc against Gabe Rios. Right wing to Joe Belaski. Gives it in the right corner to Brenning. Brenning right of the lane to Smith. Jason with the runner in the lane. Skimmed out on him. Offensive rebound grabbed by Brenning. 4:45 to go. Right wing Jake Belaski for 3, and he got it. Jake Belaski with a game high 21, and the Panthers are within 7. 54-47. 4.5 minutes to go. Rios at the other end. The jumper short. Rebound Joe Belaski. And Belaski fouled in the backcourt by Gabe Rios. That will bring Joe Belaski to the other end to shoot 1 and 1.
Boy, Southview with a lot of bad fouls here in the 4th quarter, and that's going to give Elyria Catholic a chance to get back in this ball game.
And Joe Belaski will now shoot 2 as the Panthers in the double bonus. Southview with 10 team fouls, and Joe hits the first. Joe Belaski now with 5.
If you're Brian Curry, you tell your team to ease off a little bit on the defensive end, not to be as aggressive, so you don't commit those fouls and stop the clock and give EC a chance to get a couple of shots.
Joe hit them both. He's got 6. And now Belaski will sit down with those 4 fouls. And back in the ball game, Neil Fentner. So the lead is down to 5, and the Panthers continue to pressure the ball in the backcourt. Rios just shy of the timeline. Gives it to Gerald Jackson in the left corner to Marcall Miller. Miller bounced left to the lane. Leonard Smith fumbled the ball, lost it. Out of there with it comes Miller, though. Miller in between the circles. Miller out near the half-court line to Rios. Rios whips it on the left side. Gerald Jackson. His pass deflected by Brenning right back to Gerald Jackson. Jackson steps through a double team and will get a foul on EC as Jackson was sent tumbling. Foul on Jake Belaski. That's his first. For EC, 5 team fouls. 4:04 to go in the quarter. Saints by 5. Right wing off the inbounds pass. Gerald Jackson out front to Gabe Rios. Rios with a stutter step, drops it in the corner to Ryan Jackson. Jackson in the lane, dropped it in. Ryan Jackson now with 9. That's a big hoop. 56-49. Panthers down 7. And as the Panthers come into the forecourt, Neil Fentner fouled right in front of the EC bench. That puts Neil Fentner on the line to shoot 2. The foul on Southview called on Marcall Miller. That's his 3rd. 3:47 on the clock. Neil Fentner, no points in the ball game. Shooting 2, misses the first. Fentner a 64% free throw shooter. Here comes Zach Stevens in the game for Elyria Catholic, sitting down Mike Clapham. Panthers down 7. We're at the Coliseum here at Elyria Catholic High School. Fentner no good on the second. Rebound ricochets over to the right sideline. Grabbed by Stevens. His pass in the middle knocked out of bounds. The Panthers missed 2 free throws. Still have an opportunity to get the ball back.
Yeah, look at that one there, because you need to take advantage of those free throws when you get them.
Zach Stevens will inbound right of his own basket. Looking. looking, bounce on the right wing to Boloski. Lob into Brenning. Brenning with his back to the basket. Out front, Joe Boloski. His three partially deflected. Out of there with it, Ryan Jackson for Southview. Quickly to Gabe Rios. Rios into the forecourt. Timeout, Southview. 3:31 to go. The Saints take time, leading by 7, 56-49 on the WEOL. Colson and Colson, cage matchup.
Your one-stop place for something really special is Impressions, corner of Oberlin Avenue and Tower Boulevard. T-shirts and sweatshirts personally designed to your specific needs. Anything from bears, trains to zebras, and specially designed hats as well. And don't forget Impressions, your one-stop spot for school jackets. See Dave, the designer expert at Impressions, Oberlin Avenue at Tower Boulevard, right here in Lorain.
Welcome back to the Coliseum at Elyria Catholic High School. Tim Elkhorn along with Milan Jordan, 56-49. Brian Corey takes his fourth timeout with 3:31 to go. Milan Bryan with only one timeout left and a lot of basketball still to be played.
Absolutely. And plus with Elyria Catholic, they're going to be at their free throw line every time Southview commits a foul. And in this fourth quarter, Southview has committed a lot of fouls. But EC, and meanwhile, on the defensive end, they're clamping down on Southview hard, and they're not giving not giving the Saints any open looks at all.
EC still with a foul to give. Sean Nixon at the base of the center circle, almost lost the dribble, now flips it left wing to Ryan Jackson. Jackson double teamed out front, dribbles in between the circles, lobs it on the right side to Leonard Smith. Smith at the three-point arc, out front to Rios, quickly on the left side to Marcall Miller, gives it in the corner to Jackson. Jackson back up top to Rios. Rios comes through a double team, ball knocked out of his hands, and he lost it off his leg out of bounds. Boy, the Panthers really picking it up defensively.
Absolutely. But I like what Southview was doing on the offensive end there. They weren't going for the quick shot. They want to milk a little time away. Protect that 7-point lead.
Well, we're under 3 minutes to go here at the Coliseum. Panthers down 7, 56-49. Jake Boloski in the left corner to Zach Stevens. Stevens outside the three-point arc against Gabe Rios. Stevens bounce out front to Brenning. Off on the right wing to Joe Boloski. Gives it on the baseline to Jason Smith. Jason Smith, right of the lane to Brenning. Turns, shoots, short. Rebound Brenning. Put it up, short. Brenning again, good. Josh Brenning with 7 as he continued to hammer away. And it's 56-51. Panthers within 5 with 2:25 to go. Nixon through the center circle into the forecourt against Jake Boloski. Nixon now to the right wing. Nixon almost lost the dribble. Scoops it up. Gave it to Miller. Right of the lane. Miller in traffic. Put it up and rolled it in. Marcall Miller with 7. 58-51. 2:05 to go in the basketball game.
Big hoop by Marcall Miller right there.
Boloski in the lane, puts the brakes on. Right wing Stevens, the 19-footer, and he hit it! Zach Stevens hits the jumper. He's got 3 points in the ball game. 58-53. Timeout Panthers. 1:56 to go. The Saints by 5 on the WEOL. Colson and Colson, cage matchup.
Keep your pets safe this winter. Wash your dog's paws to remove harmful salt from walking on the streets and sidewalks. Keep cats indoors. Clean up antifreeze spills. Limit outdoor exercise. Breathing cold air for extended periods can damage your dog's lungs. Don't play summer games in the winter. It can cause a serious case of frostbite. If your pet shows signs of frostbite, keep it warm and take it to your veterinarian for immediate treatment.
Tim Elkhorn along with Milan Jordan back at the Coliseum, 58-53. The Panthers keep whittling that Southview lead down. A 5-point advantage for the Saints with 1:56 on the clock. Ryan Jackson runs the baseline quickly, gets it into Sean Nixon. Nixon races up the right side, comes around Joe Boloski in the lane. Leonard Smith up, no, and he traveled with the basketball. So here come the Panthers with a chance to get even closer. 1:50 to go.
Well, I was going to say, Southview needs to be smart with the basketball, but when you turn the ball over, that's not being smart with the basketball. That's the 7th turnover of the fourth quarter for the Saints.
5-point lead for Southview. EC with the basketball. Joe Boloski will walk the ball into the forecourt. Sean Nixon meets him at the base of the center circle. Boloski on the right side to Jake. Jake comes around a Brenning pick. Jake still using the pick. Comes into the lane. Leans in. Ball knocked out of his hands. Leonard Smith has it. Fires it up ahead to Nixon. Whips it down the floor to Jackson. Left of the lane. Got fouled by Joe Boloski. 1:29 on the clock. The foul on Joe is his 5th. He has fouled out of the ball game.
A smart foul, though, by Joe Boloski. He didn't want to give Smith the easy 2 points. Oh, excuse me, Jackson.
Ryan Jackson heads to the free throw line. 1 of 2 from the line tonight. Split a pair way back in the first quarter. Ryan on the year, a 64% free throw shooter. Again, after the ball game, we'll have our McDonald's postgame show presented by the McDonald's of Lorain County. It's good to see Paul Siegfried from McDonald's here tonight. Stopped by and said hello. Tell you what, our broadcast table was like Grand Central Station.
Oh,
we had more people stopping by and passing along greetings. It's nice to feel welcome, though.
Absolutely.
Jackson misses the first. So the lead stays at 5, 58-53 with 1:29 to go. Jackson will shoot one more. Line left, spins the basketball. And he hit the front of the rim and dropped it in. Ryan Jackson in double figures with 10, 59-53. 6-point lead for the Saints. In the right corner, Clapham out front to Neil Fentner now in the game. Fentner in the right corner to Jake. His 3. Got it! Jake Boloski with 24. 59-56 with 1:08 to go. Sean Nixon down the floor to Jackson. Jackson had the ball knocked out of his hands from behind, scooped up by Leonard Smith. Smith threw it, almost over the head of Nixon at the half-court line. Then Nixon had his pass deflected out of bounds by Jake Boloski. 55 seconds to go.
Wow, what a basket by Boloski right there. Huge 3. Now Southview, they need to be smart with the basketball again. They need to protect that basketball, make this a 2-possession ball game.
59-56 Saints, 55 seconds to go. Jake Boloski will get a quick breath on the bench as Stevens checks in. Pass lobbed in the backcourt to Sean Nixon. Nixon against Fentner. Nixon through the center circle into the forecourt, left of the lane. Gives it in the left corner to Marcall Miller. Miller brings it out in between the circles to Rios, and Gabe Rios got fouled by Eric Eisbrenner, who's checked in for Elyria Catholic. Eisbrenner fouls Rios with 45 seconds to go. That puts Rios at the line, shooting 1-1.
If you're Southview, you have to put the ball in Rios' hands right now. He's had the hot hand all night. Not him, give it to Leonard Smith.
Rios right now, their best free throw shooter on the floor. Line left, first one up. No good, off the back of the rim. Rebound grab by Marcall Miller. Miller to Rios, off on the left side to Jackson. Jackson gives it at the half-court line to Nixon. Nixon weaving through traffic, up ahead to Smith, put it up, no, but he got fouled by Brenning. So with 32 seconds on the clock, Leonard Smith heads to the free throw line.
Southview needed to do, man. They had to get Rios or Smith the ball there. Those are your 2 playmakers on the night.
Leonard Smith shooting 2. Smith, a 57% free throw shooter, in and out on the first. His first trip to the line tonight. Smith will shoot one more.
Needs to sink this and make this a 2-possession ball game.
Around the rim and in. Leonard Smith with 15. 60-56 with 30 seconds to go. In the right corner, Rios knocks the ball out of the hands of Clapham out of bounds. 26 seconds to go. Panthers down 4. Boy, this is reminiscent of the old Erie Coast League when Southview and EC were in the Erie Coast. And Larry Stark was coaching the Saints and Bob Junta was coaching the Panthers. Boloski in between the circles, lost the ball, got it back. Right of the circle to Smith. Long jumper, way off the mark. Rebound Rios, and he's fouled underneath the hoop. 14 seconds to go. Well, I'm not sure the long jumper from Jason Smith is the shot that Bob Walsh wanted. So we'll head to the other end as the foul on EC was called on Neil Fentner. For Fentner, his first. And Gabe Rios shooting 1-1.
EC knew they had to put up a quick shot because they needed to quickly get the ball back.
Line left, free throw on the way, in and out, fight for the rebound. Smith has it. Long pass down the floor, stolen by Rios. And then Rios got fouled by Jake Pulaski right in front of the St. bench. And Brian Corey right down below us says, please make one. Yeah. I just read his lips. Oh my. The foul on Jake was his second. And Gabe Rios heads back to the free throw line. He's missed 2 straight. Shooting 2, clangs the first one off the front of the rim.
Look at the strut on Brian Curry's face as he wiping the sweat off his brow.
4-point lead for Southview. Rios, line left, second one up. No good. Rebound, Jake Pulaski. Jake into the forecourt. Jake out front. Jake unloads to 3. It's short. Clock at 1. Rebound, Nixon. That'll do it. The Southview Saints have come over to Elyria Catholic's gym and knocked off the Panthers 60-56. For Southview, they snapped their 2-game losing streak. They are now 6-7 on the year. Elyria Catholic sees their 4-game winning streak come to an end, and the Panthers drop to 9-3 on the campaign. Southview wins it by 4, 60-56. We'll be back, and we'll wrap it all up for you on the McDonald's postgame show following this timeout on the WEOL Colson and Colson Cage Matchup. Welcome back to the Coliseum at Elyria Catholic High School. Tim Elkhorn along with Milan Jordan, and we have just witnessed one heck of a basketball game. Southview hangs on to knock off Elyria Catholic 60-56. The Saints improved their record to 6-7 on the year, dropping EC to 9-3 on the campaign. We welcome you to our McDonald's postgame show, and the McDonald's postgame show is presented by the McDonald's of Lorain County. And before we recap the ball game and give you all the individual scoring numbers, let us welcome in Brian Corey, boys head basketball coach at Southview High School. And this one, Coach, gave you a few gray hairs, I'm sure. You got the tie unloosened, although that thing came unloosened in the first quarter. But your overall thoughts?
Usually it comes unloosened before I walk out of the locker room.
Your overall thoughts on this basketball game tonight? A heck of a contest.
Well, thank God I didn't have a heart attack. I mean, more than anything, this has probably been, I think it's the first game this year that we had a small lead late in the game. I believe it was 4 or 5 points late in the game, and we didn't take care of the basketball very well. When it comes to the foul shooting, we have to improve that all around. I mean, more than anything, we have to take care of the ball, and we haven't done that too much in terms of turning the ball over against other teams' pressing because we do it ourselves. So we work on it all the time in practice, and I was pretty shocked that we reacted the way that we did. But obviously, it's a great win against a 10-2 team that came a game away from state last year.
Coach,
so I'm real happy.
Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
Some individual performances. Young man standing right behind you, and Gabe Rios. He came up with some big plays tonight. Leonard Smith, Mark Hall Miller. It seemed as though everybody contributed at one point or another.
Well, I mean, I thought more than anything, a lot of guys played with a lot of confidence offensively until we got into our spiel of turning the ball over left and right. I mean, I thought guys played with confidence, and obviously Gabe's a very good shooter, and he shoots the ball well, and when he's on, that helps. Leonard stepping up and playing as aggressive as he played against a 6'7" kid, I was extremely happy because he's been a little bit of a rut the past couple games, and for him to come out and have a performance like that, that's going to really help his confidence down the road.
Again, we're talking with Brian Corey, victorious head coach of the Southview Saints. 60-56, they knock off EC. Brian, it seemed from the get-go, you wouldn't have minded if this game was up in the 70s or 80s. You wanted this to be an 84-foot game the entire way. Your thought process?
Well, yeah, more than anything. I mean, I thought we had to get the tempo up. That was a game plan going in. We wanted them to play up and down the whole game. I'll tell you what, I was pretty surprised. They weren't as fatigued as I expected them to be come the fourth quarter. They hung right with us, and they battled all the way through. We were hoping to wear them down one possession at a time, and come the fourth quarter, man, those kids are still battling. I saw a little bit of fatigue out of our kids, but I'll tell you what, I mean, all around, I'm happy with the fact that the kids stuck with it. they never gave up. They kept battling, and obviously we came out with the win.
Milan?
I tell you what, you guys were starting off lights out in the first half, especially this guy here, Gabe Rios, and so you guys were playing with a lot of confidence in the first half, and it was sparked by your pressure defense.
Well, I mean, we got after them early, and that made a big difference, and they made some adjustments, and in making those adjustments, everything didn't come quite as easy, and we didn't want to give up what we built in the process, so I wasn't going to be stubborn and stay with it, although I thought about it. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, Gabe's a very good shooter. He had some big shots in the first half, and we got some key baskets from Leonard Smith, and we had a couple guys rebounding the ball, doing a great job on the boards. And then we turned around in the second half, and I thought we were going to see the same type of thing until they came with the pressure and we started turning the ball over, and that was our game plan. So, but obviously, I mean, you know, Coach Walsh is a great coach, and he knew exactly when and how to adjust to put us in that situation.
Tell you what, in the first half, it was all Rios and also Leonard Smith. In the third quarter, the Panthers seemed to key down on Gabe and also on Leonard, and then you had guys like Sean Nixon coming in, and also Marquand Miller, another guy stepping up, and Jackson.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things I told Gabe coming out of the locker room. Don't expect to get the ball that easily in the second half. And obviously, they shaded him and tried to make it as difficult as possible for him to get the ball. But in the process, a couple other guys stepped up and got open. But again, I mean, we can't allow a lead to slowly slip away like that. We have to take care of the basketball, and we have to make foul shots. Right. For us to win big games, we have to be able to do that.
Having come in here, lost 2 in a row, 4 of your last 5, this is a big win. This is one that can kind of put you back on track. Agree?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the biggest thing, more than anything, the competition we've played against, the first 12 games made the biggest difference. You know, these kids have no fear. I mean, they have nothing to fear. You know, we played against some of the best teams in the state of Ohio, game in and game out, and the schedule's grueling. So, you know, coming in, these kids aren't afraid of anything. So that makes a big difference. From here on out, I don't think there's anything that's going to put any fear in these kids' hearts.
Well, hey, great win tonight, exciting win, and certainly one that I'm sure you'll jot down in your short coaching book as one that stands out. But this was exciting. Congratulations.
I do that with every win, Tim.
Well, hey, we're glad you joined us on the postgame
Thanks
show.
for having me.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks for having me.
Brian Corey, head coach of the Southview Saints. Again, a 60-56 win over the Elyria Catholic Panthers tonight here at the Panther Coliseum. Individual scoring numbers for you. For Elyria Catholic off the bench, Eric Eisbrenner saw some action late in the ball game, did not score. Neil Fentner was scoreless. Zach Stevens with 3 points. That was it off the bench for the Panthers. Starting 5, Mike Clapham had 5 points in the ball game. Joe Belaski with a 6-point effort. Josh Brenning with 7. Jason Smith with 11, but 9 of those 11 came in the first quarter. He was pretty much shut out from that point on, had a third quarter field goal, and leading the way for Elyria Catholic. Man, he tried to do all he can to put this team on his shoulders and bring them home, just couldn't quite get him there. Jake Belaski with a game-high 24 points, 16 of which came in the second half of play, as he had 8 in the third and 8 in the fourth, but it wasn't quite enough. Panthers with a total of 56, quarters of 11, 11, 17, and 17. For the Saints from Southview High School, the victorious Saints tonight, off the bench, Vince Velasquez did not score. Brian Joyner had a field goal for 2 points. Gerald Jackson hit a 3 in the third quarter for 3, and a terrific ball game for Ryan Jackson. Ryan Jackson finished up with 10 points in the contest. Starting 5 for Southview, John Brown was scoreless in the ball game. Sean Nixon, a couple of field goals for 4 points. Marquand Miller finished up with 7, and 2 starters in double figures. Leonard Smith had a 15-point ball game, and Gabe Rios came out smoking. He had 14 in the first half, and when the Panther defense adjusted, he was slowed down somewhat in the second half. Had 5 points in the second half, but still led Southview with 19. The Saints with a total of 60, quarters of 13, 16, 20, and 11. The Saints win it by 4, 60-56. We'll take a timeout on the McDonald's postgame show, and when we come back, some final stats, some awards to hand out, and we'll wrap it up from the Coliseum. That comes your way after this on the WEOL Colson and Colson Cage Matchup.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorain City Schools Television at 282-8400.